Welcome back to another garden video. This time I'm going to remove some of the onions, and as you can see, some of them has gone to seed and all of them are not that big this year. We have had a lot of slugs, and I think that the slugs are the problem here, because they have eaten a lot of the onions, and that has made it so that they hadn't enough to make big bulbs. So this is the harvest from this whole bed, and they're really small, so I'm not going to store them. I'll just use them right away. And in this bed I also have a few onions, and I will take some of them now and then leave the rest for a later harvest. Now I'm going on over to the other garden where Preben is removing a lot of the weeds around the pumpkins and the potatoes. And now back to the onions. I just took some of the biggest of them and removed the skins and the top and bottom, and then I'm just cutting them up and freezing them. We are also harvesting our garlic today, and these are the elephant garlics. They're really big, but maybe they have gone a little too far. And these are the other onions, and I have 3 different kinds of garlic here. So we will see how they are and how big they have gotten, and then I will use some of the garlic for next year and put them in the ground again in October. And so far they are looking really good, nice and big, and I like when they have very big cloves, so they're easier when I'm going to cook them. So that is what I'm going for. And Preben is removing some of the extra dirt on the roots, and I'm just pulling them up, and then we will sort them out to which kind they are, so we can have a closer look on them later. And these are all of the big garlics, and we don't have that many because seed garlic is really expensive, so I'm trying to make my own next year. And now we are for a walk with Holly, and we're training her a little at the same time. She always comes to me instead of Preben, although he has the treat for her this time. So now she's over and getting the treat by him. And then she comes back to me and wants another treat. And she's also really helpful, as you can see, with watering the garden, or maybe not. At least she had a lot of fun with this watering can. and she is also harvesting all of our red currants. So as you can see, she's really helpful. At least she thinks that herself. Now I'm in my greenhouse and I'm harvesting some of these flowers that I'm going to dry and then use in teas. I also have some chamomile here, but I think they have gone too far. They are really dry and the tomatoes are also growing really well, and I have already harvested a few of them, but there's a lot more to come. Now we are outside again and harvesting our zucchinis, and we have one row, but they are really producing a lot of zucchinis. So we're helping each other. I'm finding them, and sometimes I cut them, sometimes Preben cuts them, depending on which side they are on, and then he carries them, because sometimes they are really heavy. We are usually harvesting between 7 and 10 kilos at a time, and that's a few times a week, so they're really good producers. And I have all different kinds. I have some of these green and lighter striped ones, and I have some yellow and also some yellow with stripes, and then I also have some that are more almost gray, and they are really long and skinny, so you can let them grow a little bigger without them having a lot of seeds in them. So that's really nice when we're going to cook them. And this time we also ended up with a little more than 10 kilos. So we have a lot of zucchini now that we are going to use in a lot of different ways. And these are all of our cabbages, and some of them are already ready to be harvested. So today we're just harvesting this one in the corner, and then we are eating it for dinner tonight. After we removed all of the outer leaves, there was still about 1.2 kilos left of cabbage, so that's really nice. And these are some of our cherries, and this tree especially has some really nice big and dark sweet cherries. We are going to try them. It's just like candy on a stick. So they're really delicious and sweet. I don't like a fruit if it's sour, so these ones are really good. And also on the inside they are really dark and beautiful. And these are all of the pumpkin plants. I just planted them in one row, and then they are spreading out on both sides, so in a month or two they will go all the way to the greenhouse and all the way to the other fence. And as you can see, there's already a lot of pumpkins underneath all of the leaves. And these are the strawberry plants. They are almost done giving strawberries this year, but I just found a few, so Preben is getting this one. And now I'm just showing you the rest of the garden, all of the beans and some leeks, and I have some marigolds here. And then all of the rest of the cabbage that are under this net. We have a lot of different kinds, and as you can see, a lot of them are already big enough to harvest, so from now on we'll harvest with a few days in between. And he just wanted to show us some more of the yummy cherries that he's enjoying. And now we're trying to feed the geese some of the outer leaves of the cabbage. And the two white ones are called Bodil and Greg, and they're really used to me, so they will always come and eat from my hand, but they're not that used to Preben, so they're a little suspicious. And the other two girls are not as tame as these two. The two white ones have grown up here. They've been here their whole life, and the other two I bought as adults, so that's why they a little more suspicious.
Du skal ikke se sådan ud. Der sker ikke noget. Du er lidt nervøs.
And we have these 3 really big bushes of black currants, and we can harvest about 20 kilos each year. The berries are almost as big as grapes, so that's really amazing. And the chickens also love them. They go just next to the bushes here, so I'm always throwing a few berries into them as well. And this is the flower bed that I made in the spring with all of the dahlias and the gladiolas, and we're just cutting some of the flowers to make a nice bouquet that we are gifting some friends of ours. And this is the dinner that I made with the cabbage, and Holly is also having a snack. And now it's the next day, and I'm going to harvest some of all of these black currants. As you can see, they're really ripe, and I almost don't have to touch them, and then they'll just come down. So it's good to have a big bowl or something like that underneath, and so you can catch them in that. And I harvested 4 kilos this time, and I put them in the freezer to give my great aunt on a later day. And this is almost the same food as yesterday. And then I harvested my first tomato and cucumber from the greenhouse, and I'm getting a lot of green fingers when I'm cutting all of the tomato plants, and then some of the same food. And the blueberries are also giving a lot right now. So this is the first year that we are harvesting blueberries, and some of them are also really, really big, just as the black currants. And this is all for now, so thank you for watching, and remember you can always go and follow us on Instagram, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye bye.